There is a story, one that echoes through countless families and generations. It is a story many know, a story that repeats itself in different forms, but always with the same longing, the same ache, and the same hope. It is the story of a child who leaves home, and the greater story of a father who waits. Once, there was a young man. His heart was restless and full of dreams. He longed for freedom, for a chance to prove himself, to live his own life far from the shadow of home. One day, unable to contain this yearning any longer, he went to his father and said, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance." His words hung heavy in the air, but the father, with quiet understanding and without a word of reproach, divided his possessions and gave his son what he asked for. And so the young man set out. He left behind the familiar walls of his home, stepping into the unknown, energized by the thrill of independence. In the distant land where he settled, he lived each day to the fullest. He spent his wealth freely, embracing every pleasure and indulgence the world could offer. For a time, it was everything he imagined, boundless, exhilarating, and new. But freedom, untethered from wisdom, is a fragile thing. Slowly, the excitement faded, replaced by a growing emptiness. The young man found himself more alone with each passing day, the laughter of new friends growing quieter as his fortunes dwindled. Eventually, his money was gone. In that foreign land, famine struck. The young man, once so proud and hopeful, now had nothing. No friends, no family, no home. Desperate, he took work feeding pigs, an animal considered unclean and unworthy in his culture. As he sat among them, so hungry that even the scraps he fed them seemed tempting, he realized how far he had fallen. There, in the filth and silence, he saw the truth of his choices. He remembered his father's house, a place of warmth, of plenty, of love that asked nothing in return. He thought of the servants there who never went hungry, who never felt the biting cold of rejection and loneliness. Shame washed over him, deep and aching. He whispered to himself, "I will return home. I cannot ask to be called a son, but perhaps my father will let me be a servant." So, trembling with fear and hope, he began the long journey home. Each step was heavy with regret, each mile a reminder of the mistakes he had made. He rehearsed the words he would say, how he would apologize, how he would plead for a place among the lowest in his father's house. But unknown to the son, each day since he had left, his father had gone to the gate, searching the horizon. Every morning, every evening, the father stood, eyes filled with longing, heart heavy with waiting. He watched and waited, not by chance, but by intention, because love does not give up hope. Then, one day, while the sun was still far off, the father saw a familiar figure in the distance. His heart leapt. Without hesitation, the father ran. He ran as only a parent can run, driven by love that forgets pride, by hope that overcomes disappointment. When he reached his son, he embraced him, tears streaming down his face. There were no angry words, no accusations, no lectures. Only love, forgiveness, and the joy of reunion. The son tried to speak, to confess his failures, but the father would not let him finish. He called for his servants, telling them to bring the finest robe, a ring for his finger, sandals for his feet. "Prepare a feast," he said, "for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The house was filled with music and laughter, not to celebrate the son's departure, but to rejoice in his return. This story is not just a parable from ancient scriptures. It is a reflection of our own journeys. Each of us at some point has turned away from what is good, chasing after freedom, success, or pleasure. We seek fulfillment in places that promise much, but deliver little. And sometimes we find ourselves lost, empty, and alone. We create distances between ourselves and those who love us, between ourselves and God. Yet the heart of the Father never changes. He waits at the gate every day, eyes searching for the silhouette of his child on the horizon. His love is patient, never closing the door, never losing hope. And when we finally turn toward home, even with faltering steps and broken hearts, he runs to meet us. He wraps us in forgiveness, not because we have earned it, but because we are his. Where are you on this journey? Perhaps you are far from home, spiritually, emotionally, or simply by the choices you have made. Perhaps you have sought meaning in things that have left you empty, or you feel weighed down by guilt and unworthiness. Or maybe you stand at a distance, wondering if there is a way back, if the gate is still open. If today you feel tired, lost, or distant from God, do not be afraid to return. Do not let shame, fear, or pride keep you from the embrace that waits for you. The gate of mercy is always open. The Father's love is always ready. In this moment, consider these words of prayer. Loving Father, when I wander far from you, your heart aches. But still, you wait. Give me the courage to return, even when my hands are empty and my heart bears many wounds. I trust that in your arms there is always welcome, always healing, always love. I come home to you with all my heart.